There's no Philip today either.
Crap. Well,
It is what it is. Welcome to another episode of the Traveling Hoopers podcast. I am your host, Alan Pettigrew Jr., and in front of me is my man's Calvin McGowan. Calvin, go ahead and let the people hear your voice.
what's up, everybody? I'm here once again. I'm Calvin McGowan, and I think there's a strong argument for Wilt Chamberlain being the best player of all time, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
Um, I agree with you, physical freak. But not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about another physical freak. And let's go ahead and start with LeBron James talking about not really liking the playoff tournament after there was like a report where he was like, "This is a really good idea" when they first started it.
Uh, my the stuff I've seen suggests apparently in context it was more in reference to with the bubble because the stuff
Yeah,
stopped abruptly and whatever. And it's if you remember context, it makes more sense why he might not be cool with this nonsense. Because as I was telling you, before we started recording, I just figured out how the play-in tournament worked. Because I just kind of accepted they're gonna have a play-in tournament. Okay, it's how's that gonna work? And then I just never bothered to look it up, but I do now, and it's actually kind of dumb.
yeah. So is this like the closest thing we really have to like the wild card in like the NFL, where it's like pseudo playoff teams basically, where we get to see that 9 and 10 play, even though it's tournament style.
Probably yeah. Um, because obviously with the outside of the bubble, the NBA hasn't had anything like that before.
Yeah,
Obviously the the NCAA tournament's a whole separate beast. Um, the women have I think two. The WNBA I believe has a play-in round. I believe,
yeah.
which well not really a play-in round, but a single elimination round, which I also think is dumb. But that's neither here nor there. Um, but it's also just because the way it works for anybody who doesn't know is the 7 and 8 seed play each other, and the winner of that game becomes the 7th seed, for the playoffs, and then the loser of that game plays the winner of the 9-10 game, and the winner of that game gets the 8 seed.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. They should have kept that in the bubble, baby. But hey, we got to make up this revenue with extra playoff games. Do you think we get to a point where they take out the play-in tournament?
Not if it makes money. I'll put it that way. The thing is, I think it's dumb mostly because part of the whole reason for a regular season is to sort out everything,
Exactly.
right? And of course, the way the play-in is set up is basically going to be in that time the teams would otherwise have had downtime prior to the start of the playoffs. So the play-in teams, particularly the whoever gets the 8 seed, isn't going to get a break, really, right? Um,
Yeah, you better off just going to
and
the lottery.
huh,
You better off just going to the lottery. If
low
that's
key.
the
Well, it might be good for a young team like the Grizzlies, just because experience, they need experience, right? Your two best players have combined 5 years in the league between them. At this at this point,
is it truly experience if you play that first game and you lose? Like that is one semi playoff game.
kind of it wouldn't be the same as getting in the playoffs proper, but it's
Exactly.
still but it's also still that's still in a certain extent crunch time meaningful game for them. And learning how to handle that is going to be important if they want to have that success later as far as playoffs.
Hey, I'm glad the OKC Thunder do not have to deal with this. Just keep stinking it up and go ahead and get these lottery picks. That's what we're worried about. Well, we don't get nothing this year, but you know.
I mean, what the Thunder are out, the Timberwolves are out, the Rockets were never really in.
Hell,
Um, Neither were the Pistons, and the Magic are eliminated. Somehow the Cavaliers are not. Um, But
Yeah. So is that just the East or is that the West
that
too?
that I just ran both of like the teams that are clearly not getting in.
Yeah.
Um, Also, at least looking at ESPN, for some reason, the Nuggets have not technically clinched their playoff spot, even though they're sitting at third and are tied with the Clippers. Well, they have one. They played one less game than the Clippers.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I saw something about that. Like only 3 teams have like secured their playoff spot. Like
Three
it's really,
teams in each.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I don't understand the Nuggets one though.
I'm this weird condensed schedule just throws everything off. Like that's what it is for the most part. But it's like 8 games. Unless somebody goes on like a really bad skid, like the Lakers currently are right now, is there a real chance for it to be a lot of movement?
Like theoretically, right? If the Pelicans can like play well the rest of the way, and like I don't know, the Spurs drop a couple games, then like the Pelicans might be able to sneak in. The Kings probably can't, but I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility, which is why they're not currently considered to be eliminated. But like, of course, they probably have to win out to have a chance with that. So like, they're functionally like they're probably not getting in. Um, the Raptors, it's not completely out of the realm for them.
Yeah,
It's like there's a chance for some movement. There's probably a chance for a bit of movement in terms of like final like playoff seed because there are a number of teams with similar records. The Mavericks, Lakers, and Blazers all currently are 36 games and 28 losses. Um, like the Hawks and the Heat are both only like a game up on the Celtics.
yeah,
So like there are opportunities for like movement, but like the who's in the playoffs is more or less locked in. Save some wild stuff.
yeah. Hey, all I know is I would like to see the Lakers in this playoff tournament, mainly so LeBron can break all of the ridiculous rules, and when they stop playing stop doing the playoff play-in tournament in 5 years, he will have all of the records, and we would just add to the lore of LeBron James. So let's go ahead and let that happen.
I'm I'm not against it. Like I'm not a fan of playing game, but like that would be entertaining. It would be fun.
Look, I'm for a historical stat pattern. Let's go ahead and do it, right?
Hey, no reason not to. Also, the Nuggets have been really good since Murray got hurt.
I mean, that's because Michael Porter Jr. has been going crazy.
Yes.
Right? Bro, I saw like back-to-back nights where it was like 32 and then 39. I was like, oh, this is what we were talking about. Like, was it like 3 episodes ago? We were like, is this when we're gonna have Michael Porter Jr. and now we have the explosion?
Like it definitely seems like it. Um, and what this Lakers game, which is tonight, which LeBron will not be a part of, where they play the Nuggets, and almost certainly, and like I'd be surprised if like the Lakers win somehow.
Yeah,
Um, but the Nuggets have been playing really well. Like they'd probably be better with Murray to be sure, but like if assuming this becomes closer to the new supporters' new normal,
yeah.
like offensively, and like my understanding is he's gotten better defensively. If like he can obviously there's a good chance he ends up every bit as like what people thought he'd be or maybe better, and like that's kind of wild considering like the concerns in the draft where like he had like his back he had, like back issues or whatever.
At 19.
Yeah.
And the
Uh.
hip injury, too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Remember that time at Mizzou? It was a lot of weird injuries.
Yeah. Yeah. He seemed like he was made of glass, low key.
But Mr. Glass was nice when he was on the court, bro. I think he only played like 12 minutes, like all together, but he's still doing damage.
He's in the league now, and he's
Doing damage.
kind of serious. Like, and I'd imagine if like for what's it, not Carlisle. Carlisle's Maverick.
George Carl.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like the only thing is just kind of keeping him, because like Porter, if you listen to him, he's a very, very, very confident young man. And it feels like, and I think at one point earlier in the season we were mentioning, I think he felt like he should be taking more shots and like going to more at the end of games or some such.
Yeah.
And it's like if I'm like if I'm the Nuggets coach though, I'm just kind of like, look, between you, Jokic, and Murray, I don't honestly care who shoots the most shots as long as we win.
Yeah, that's like a natural built-in big three. Like you gotta, Jokic is officially a 25 and 10 type of guy. Murray can get you 20 any night, and then you got this dude. Like Jeremy Grant really ruined this. Like this, as far as I'm concerned, could have been like their year. Like this is when their window really opens. Yeah. But no, you want to go make money.
Like, in fairness, they have Aaron Gordon now. That helps.
Yeah.
And like all you need him to do is play defense and catch lobs.
I get it. I think I'm really partial to what Jeremy Grant can give you just because of how long and athletic he is, and he became like an actual shooter towards like that playoff run. And right. I don't know if Aaron Gordon is that level of shooter.
I'm fairly confident he's not. But like I think with them, he can also play more like 4, which is more of his natural position. Let's see. Percentages. Yeah, he's respectable from deep. He's like, you can't really call it. I don't feel comfortable calling it good, but it's not. He's not actually bad.
Yeah, he'll make you think twice this year.
Yeah, like 35% from 3.
Yeah,
which is it's good enough.
That career 32 makes me a little sad though.
I mean, he basically came in doing more or less the same thing that like Blake Griffin did when he came in, just dunking everything.
Just smaller.
Yeah, just highlight reel posters.
Bro, don't get me started on Aaron Gordon. That's one of my favorite high school players of all time, bro. I want so much for that dude. Just not gonna watch him play.
But of course, the Sixers, Nets, and Bucks have all clinched their playoff spots. With the Sixers and Nets, like one is gonna end up 1 and 2, one way or the other at this point, I think. Wait, are all like KD, Harden, and Kyrie? They're all healthy?
I don't think so. I think James Harden is the one who is dealing with an injury right now, but I think that's going to be something that they're not going to have to worry about once the playoffs actually start. I think James Harden injury is just something they're kind of nursing. Okay. Yeah, and they're talking about not playing him until they go against. Wow, there's a chance that they could save James Harden until they play the Bucks. That is what the Daily News says.
Okay. If that happens, that would be the second round, or
I think it'd be second round. Yeah.
Okay. That makes some sense. I'm sorry, this new setup with the play-ins. It's just like trying to envision everything, because it's just like. But yeah. Also, the Suns, Jazz, and Clippers have theirs clinched up. The Nuggets are a technicality at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming because they have some kind of tiebreaker, the Suns currently sit at the top of the Western Conference.
You said they're the number one seed. You said the Suns?
Currently, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got a real question for you. Have you watched the Suns or the Jazz lately?
Not lately, no.
Okay. All right. Because just seeing like different highlights from what I've seen, like on both teams, like of course the Suns have a lot of growth, but like the Jazz specifically, like in Donovan Mitchell's like his ability to get into his shots in like just shoot as a perimeter player looks completely different than it did like last year. Like even bubble where he was going for like 50, like looked like the jump shot is there. Like I don't think you know how like Philip says he doesn't like his game. I don't think Philip can complain about his game anymore.
I mean, it gets like I'd assume the game also kind of gets easier when you're playing with Chris Paul.
I'm talking about Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. I'm thinking of Booker. But with that though, again, you have a team full of capable players who can take some of the pressure off you.
Yeah.
But also, he's a young player who's continuing to get better. So like, it makes some sense that like you look up and like he's better at the end of the season than at the beginning.
That's right. Donovan Mitchell has been in the league what, 4 years?
4, maybe 5, I think.
That man's still on his rookie contract. Like not even on the extension yet. Money Mitch, gotta love it. All right. You got another topic for us, Calvin?
It's just like the thing. It's like at this point, the main thing is of course, like outside of like dudes getting hurt or not getting hurt, the Lakers have fallen off a cliff since, LeBron in particular, but LeBron and AD got hurt, and as we stated, their threat for like being in the play-in tournament, which will almost certainly be entertaining for like us, but like Lakers fans would probably be upset. The league would probably be upset.
Most definitely.
I wouldn't care. Like as far as Lakers, it's just entertainment value. Like LeBron it's like in my opinion, like LeBron at this point, it's like I'd like to see him get another ring just because like it'd be nice to see, right? Because like until he gets like 5 or 6, they're always gonna be like Jordan rings for those who just don't want to. You just don't want to be like, oh, it's just like, no, I was like, Jordan was great, but I think LeBron's better than Jordan. Granted, you would rather have Jordan's career. Like, I think when I say that, what I mean is just like, I feel like most people would rather have been able to like be the guy at one place and just collect hardware at your spot, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like with LeBron, it's like he's got his rings, but he's also like hopped around and all of this. It's also kind of why it's kind of sad to see like some of the trades and whatever that happen. Like Westbrook not being at OKC anymore.
Yeah.
And DeRozan not being a Raptor anymore, even though like they did get a chip out of it, but it's still just like, I don't know. You did him. I feel it's one of the feels like you did him kind of dirty.
It hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
You heard about like all the best friend stuff with Kyle Lowry? No, that's things.
But like, it would just be entertaining if he was in. Honestly, probably entertaining if the Celtics were in it too. Even though, like, again, I'm pretty sure that's something the league doesn't want. Yeah. But hey, the Knicks are good. For some reason.
Yeah. I still can't wrap my head around that. I can't wait till the playoffs start so I can actually see them play. And like if they get out of the first round, we can talk.
Let's see. Oh, that's the 4 or 5. They'd be playing the Hawks. I think they can. I feel like they probably get the Hawks.
They might be able to take that out. Okay. Bro, when's the last time the Knicks and the Hawks were in the playoffs together? When's the last time that happened? Is that like 2012?
Probably.
That
And it's
has
like,
to be
but like
2012.
my instinct is to go back to like the 90s, but like that's just probably because it just felt so long, especially for like the Knicks.
Let me see. Because I think if it's 2012, I think that's the really good Hawks team where they won like 60 games. Let's see.
With that team with Teague and Corver and I think Al Horford was on that squad, wasn't
Yeah, they was just giving out all stars to people that was on the on this team. It's like you tried really hard. Here you go, Kyle Korver.
he? I mean, wasn't he just knocking everything down that year though?
He was, but if we just handing out catch and shoot trophies, what is this? um, yeah, 2012. I think this might be the joint. Yeah, because Melo was the points per game leader. It's 2012. Last time that's weird.
See, now you left me with a random question I need answered.
Okay.
And that question is, who's the scoring leader this year?
For who?
Like the NBA.
For the NBA. Let's see.
Okay. I just pulled it up. It's Curry.
Curry? Okay.
Yeah, just ahead of Bradley Beal.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Bill. Cause
The difference is 0.3 points per game.
ah,
Yeah.
so we just one game away from Steph Curry taking a rest for it to be Bradley Bill.
Pretty much, yeah. But and maybe it's just because like of things I'm aware of that I wasn't always aware of, but like, okay, so this gets into two things. One, something I've mentioned before, that the scoring leader in the NBA also won a championship that same year. What I think like 7 times, like 6 or 7 times, and all of them except one of those was Michael Jordan,
Yeah, yeah.
and the other one was Shaq. So I'm just like, I know who's not winning the title this year.
I mean, with that being said, it would not take a genie to guess that the Warriors nor the Wizards were going to. It's something about those teams with W's that just they don't do a lot of. Let me stop being a hater. It's the Warriors. They just came off a dynasty. They got lucky though. They got lucky.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But
That makes me sad.
it's true though sometimes. But let's actually Curry would be fun to see in the play. Will be fun to see in the play-in games.
You know who I really want to see in the playoff game? I don't know what kind of magic we would have to happen for this, but Lakers versus Warriors.
What would have to happen? Wouldn't they basically have to meet in the finals?
Nah, I want them in the playoff, the play-in tournament. What has to happen?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what would have to happen, at least as things currently exist, is that the war, like if everything stayed the same as it is today, except for the Lakers being in the play-in, the Lakers would have to lose that first game, and the Warriors would have to win their first game.
Sometimes we're not gonna get that.
Probably not. But like again, like if the Warriors can do better than the Grizzlies the next couple games, or like the next game or so, then like they might have the 8th spot. And if the Lakers have the 7th spot, then you get that game.
So this losing streak for the Lakers needs to continue for the NBA to really make money. Because you're not about to make no money off Warriors versus Grizzlies. Even I'm just thinking about the entertainment factor. Actually, never mind.
Actually, it would be highly entertaining.
Yes, Ja going crazy against Steph Curry's porous defense.
Like it would be a fun game.
Yeah,
Just
they
kind
still
of
lose by
regardless.
20 though.
What the Grizzlies?
Yeah,
I don't know about by 20.
playoff game. Y'all might get cooked by 20 during the playoff game. Y'all might get beat by.
I think for the most part, the Grizzlies appear to be mostly healthy for the first time, basically all season.
Yeah.
So like I don't know about 20. They might lose. That'd be completely fair. I don't know about 20 though. But again, if I'm the coach, I don't care what Curry does as far as putting the ball in the hoop. Just don't let anybody else get theirs.
Don't let Andrew Wiggins cook you.
Like I don't care if I don't care if Curry breaks Wilt's scoring record, long as we win. That'd be wild.
That would be the most entertaining game probably ever. If Curry goes for 102.
That would be. He just had to do 101 to break it. But like that would be insane. And like, oh yeah, something that I was starting to mention. It's like I've kind of come to this conclusion. Like in part, like listening to remembering some of the stuff, some of the talk earlier in the season, particularly when I think they talked about Donovan Mitchell and Bradley Beal, and like especially earlier when they were putting up like having like 40+ point games, but like their teams weren't winning those games.
Yeah.
That I've started to more or less come to the conclusion that as far as an individual goes, there is a point of diminishing returns on like putting the ball through the hoop.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not that it doesn't matter, but at a certain point, it doesn't make like at a certain point it just doesn't matter as much as like it did earlier. It's like them first 20 all matter. Yeah. Like some of that second 20 probably don't, for real. Or like you might be better off trying to get other teammates involved.
Yeah. Because at some point that we got to look at the numbers, and the efficiency just says at some point it's going to tank by you taking so many shots, basically.
Right, or like it just gets easier to scheme around, right?
Yeah, like we know what you can
do. Yeah, we know it's not just like we know what you can do, and like, and it's easy. It's like if you can take the shot, you're taking the shot. So like we're just gonna let you do that, and like we're just gonna keep the rest of your team from contributing, from getting them offensive rebounds and all of that, and like we'll just go down and do our stuff, and we'll probably be good. Because you're probably not putting up 100 by yourself. Like, it's the whole one man can't beat a team. He can try. He might get close. He's probably not pulling it off.
Yeah, man. This is fun. I enjoyed the thought experiments of having like certain people in the playoff tournament. But yeah, man, I need the playoffs to start because I feel like we're talking about nothing still.
I mean, we basically are. It's just like hey, it'd be cool if this happened in the play-in games or like the playoffs, and it's like yeah, it would, but like there's still some jockeying about in the rankings to hash out because a bunch of teams have the same record.
Yep.
And like in fairness, like at this point. Like, if we had played a full season, like a full 82, like, a lot of these games probably just don't matter like that, for real. Like, truthfully, next year, like, a lot of them just... And it's like, I think part of why you want... part of the point of the playing games is to try and make those games matter more, but, like, at a certain point, right? Especially with 82 games, more time for teams to create separation, just, like, some of those games just aren't going to matter like that. Because, like, at a certain point, right, it's like... You're just not going to be able to move up, right? Realistically, the Mavericks aren't getting higher than the 5 seed, like no matter what they do, unless like, actually no, they're not. They're just not. Like the Nuggets probably aren't getting it into the top 2 in the conference. Like it could happen. It almost certainly won't. Just the odds of it Um, and so it's just kind of like at a certain point, it's like the games don't matter too much.
Yeah. Nah, man, I feel you on that. It is what it is. That humdrum last 10 games of the season where we already know everything is just we waiting for it to play out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just like waiting for it to play out, though. It's just kind of like, what do we have to talk about?
Right? It feels like paint, like watching paint dry. Like I kind of already know the answer.
Basically.
Yeah. Shoot, Calvin, with that said, if you don't have anything else on the docket, I think we can go ahead and call this an episode.
Yeah, we can. Like we just done. We basically spent the last 30 minutes running a thought experiment.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's what podcasts are for, are they not?
I suppose they are, yeah.
Yeah,
But it'd just be like thought experiment. What if the Pelicans make it in? Like they're getting like they're probably not. If they do, if by some chance they get the 7 or 8 seed, well they're not getting the 7 seed. If there's some chance to get the 8 seed, they're almost certainly getting swept.
Yeah.
Like they got good young players, but like most good young teams aren't good for real. It's like the Grizzlies are better than like you would expect them to be given how young they are, but like it's like if this was like the playoff format of old, right?
Yeah.
They're battling to hold on to that 8 seed. So like they don't suck, but like they're not like there's no way anything breaks where they get a ring unless everybody above them gets hurt, like
Everybody got to get the flu
or something. Yeah. And then like there's gonna be that one team that's gonna suit up anyway.
Hey, how you let that dude get a flu game?
Just like
Will Barton, you let Will Barton get the flu game? Like, come on, man.
you let him put up 35?
Why you ain't just sneeze on him or something? Like anything. But anyway, this has been an episode. Yeah, this has been another episode of the Traveling Hoopers podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I have been your host, Alan Pettigrew. In front of me, the man of the hour, Calvin McGowan, can go ahead and close us out.
Once again, I'm Calvin McGowan. Thank you for sticking with us to the end. Of course, you can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts. If you're joining us on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, leave something in the comments. As we all wait for the playoffs to actually start and for interesting off-season things to happen in the other sections of the game that are both interesting and like not mundane enough that like you're gonna just blow it off anyway. And I will be at the Iverson Classic, the Iverson Roundball Classic here this weekend, taking notes and probably pictures.
Hey, that's what's up. So we both booked and busy because I got Kellen Buffington's Who Want the Smoke starts May 7th. So that is going to be crazy, and we gonna have content next week. Let's go.